So tonight I'm going to be talking about how to build your website right from the start. It's a bit of a common theme, I think, with the first two guys speaking as well. You're getting that foundation right from the very beginning. It's going to save you time, money, potentially results that you're trying to get through your website. So I'm going to cover off on 5 things. Usability first. Experience, that's experience in what types of websites. So this is also partly how to pick the right web developer as well. We're not all the same. We're specialists in certain things. So finding the right one that's going to match what you want to do is also critically important. About the team, can you meet the team of your developers? Can you edit your website, which is super important for a lot of companies these days? And also, how do I measure results, which is probably one of the most important things. Matt's going to be talking later about lead generation and things like that, and Mel with social media. And a lot of that revolves around sending traffic to your website. When that traffic lands on your website, what's going to happen? What are they doing? Am I doing right with my website? Is it actually working? Am I getting the results that I'm looking for? Am I wasting money? Should I be spending money somewhere else with the website? Your website's kind of your central hub for all your marketing activities, whether that's offline or online. You're typically sending it to your website. It's like your salesperson that's on 24/7. Who's looked at a website today? Yeah, just about everybody in the room. Usability first. So when you're building your website, it's critically important that whoever does it thinks about usability. And usability is from the point of view of the user that's going to be going onto that website. So you might have a flash idea for your website. You might have all the sparkle and glitter. You want it to look a certain way. You want it to act a certain way. But every time you think about it, you've got to think about it, how that user is going to act when they get to that website. It's just super important that everything you do revolves around the user. I'm sure you've all had the experience of getting onto a website and you lose the interest within 3 or 5 seconds because you just can't find what you're looking for. Or you're not sure what that next step is. You might be researching something, you're trying to make a phone call, oh, I can't find the phone number, I'm scrolling. On average, you've got about between 5 and 9 seconds to capture somebody's attention. If you're paying for leads coming in, like AdWords, paying every time somebody clicks, you're potentially just wasting money if they get there and they don't know what to do. And it's just driving you mad, go to the next website and you're moving on. So no matter what you're doing with your website, when you're building it, and also measuring it once it's been built, is think about the user. Think about how that user would, what you want them to do. So if you want them to pick up a phone, make sure that your website is targeted to that, to making that user pick up that phone and call you. Don't get them lost in the site because you don't have long to keep their attention. I'm just going to show you a couple of examples of websites that have focused on usability. One of them's actually Atwood Marshall, who've done a great job with theirs as well. The first one is Virgin America. For the last 10 years or so, airlines have been copying each other's website, and it's been super complicated trying to book a flight. On average, it was 7 to 8 minutes or something quite long. If you got there and you knew what you wanted, I'm travelling from here to there, how many people? They've narrowed it right down and they can do it within about 2 minutes or something insane like that. They actually won User Experience of the Year this year for websites. They kept it really simple. It's where would you like to go? So when you load the website, they're an airline, along with all the other stuff that Virgin do in their branding and marketing. They've kept it simple. So it's who's going, where are you going from, where are you going to, start your search. There's stacks and stacks of information down the page. The next 3 has got a little bit. There's plenty of information so you can find out all the other stuff you might need to know. But when a user gets there, it's kind of obvious what you want to do. Where would you like to go? Here, 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 bang, I can book those tickets within 2 minutes, which if you've used some other airlines, you might, it just takes forever and you get frustrated to all hell. So their user experience is fantastic. People love coming to the site. It's easy to use, easy to navigate. The next one is a UK product that sells snack food. Again, this is another one. They're telling them how it works. So you can't really read it here. It's a bit hard, sorry for the clarity of that. But it's straightforward. You land on the site, get started now. They've got a couple of deals going, which is always good, telling people how much things cost, telling them what you do, how it works. Here's what we do snack food. You can pick your snack food and we'll send it to you. So when the user gets there, they know straight away how it's going to work. It's simple. The user experience is it's just great. They know exactly what they're doing when they get there. There's no confusion. Order your stuff, get sent to you, and that's it. Another one, Atwood Marshall. Sorry for the big close up there. Very handsome fellow. Yeah. I'll take that $20 later. Atwood Marshall, they want you, and like most law firms you would expect, they want you to pick up the phone, send them an email, ask them a question. They've got it all covered. When you land on their website, it's got everything. You've got a phone number straight away. You've got to click here for some more help. They've got a chat feature, which is big, that stands out. We're online, click here. And from what Peter was telling me, it's actually the lawyers that are there, or Holly down the back as well, that is manning that chat. So you can click on it and chat to a real person rather than the token picture of the stock image. It's actually a person that's sitting there answering those questions. They've just got it simple. There's no clutter. It revolves through the different lawyers on the firm. Again, it's just aimed at the user. It's not complicated. It's not, it's exactly what you want from it, to be able to contact quickly and easily. So always think about the user. Last year, mobile search overtook desktop search. It's around, it sort of jumps around each other at the moment. Basically means that most of us now are searching on our phones. We all do it, pull it out, do a search. What that means is your website also needs to look awesome on a mobile device. So for the first time pretty much ever, Google have come out and said that they'll actually penalise if your website's not mobile friendly, which means that we've seen clients slowly go down in the rankings because their site wasn't mobile friendly. So super important. Again, for usability, it's got to be mobile friendly because that's just the way that it's heading. Experience. So this comes to when you're actually picking your web developer. So before you've started, you want a website, you need one, you've got to come up with a list of ideas and things that you might want. Do you need a booking system? Are you selling a product? Jeff down the back, he sells organic food hampers. He's got half a dozen or maybe a dozen or so products. You've got other e-commerce sites like a stationery shop. They might sell thousands of products. It's going to be a different web developer, more than likely, that's going to be doing those sites because of the complexity. I don't think there's too many, if there's any out there, that are going to cover everything that you absolutely need. There's just so much complexity. There's a bunch of stuff there, different types of websites, WordPress, Joomla, the list just goes on and on. Are you going to sell? Are you using Google AdWords to generate traffic? Again, it's really important that if you need a full-on booking system, go to a web developer that's done a full-on booking system and ask them to show you how that works. If you go to a web developer that hasn't done it, okay, here's what we want to do. Let's talk about what issues might come up and are we going to be able to overcome them? Are you going to charge me for the time that it's going to take to learn? So really get clear on the types of things that you need and don't just assume that the first guy you go to or the second or the third is going to actually know and have the experience in that. So make sure that they can show you. Pretty much just ask for examples. Okay, so we need this, show us something that you've done, is the best way to do it. And assume that, yeah, we're all different. And there's so many different types of things out there that it's worth shopping around and chatting with different developers. Can I meet the team? There's so many facets to web design, development, the SEO, Google AdWords. You'll know straight away, and we've had so many experiences where people will come to us, oh, we got our website built from a friend of a friend. A mate built it and now he's gone and we don't have access to it anymore. Or we tried offshore ourselves, we went direct, we hired somebody from India. We had a website built for $400. It looked awesome, but it took 8 months to build. It was only 4 pages and then suddenly it disappears overnight. And the list goes on of the horror stories that are around. So the first question, can I meet the team? Ask questions like, is it just you? Because a single web developer will have limited experience. It's okay if they're a single web developer. Have they got partnerships with other people with the skill sets that are needed? Have they done sites together before? It's super important. For our company example, we're not very good at design, so we partner with a company that's awesome at design. And we're not afraid to, let that be known as well, because you can't be awesome at everything. So make sure that, you just get a feel for the team. Have they got the different experience and things like that? Nah, same thing. What if I want to make changes later? That's quite often we sell a website, we'll ask the question. Everybody says, I want to make changes. Maybe only 20% actually make changes when it comes down to it. It's usually somebody like Mel from social media that'll get those users into doing blogs and adding content to your site and things like that. It's super important that you can do it though. A lot of the changes that you can make on site are easy, a lot of them are not easy, and it's good to find out straight away before you get the website done. Once we've got it finished, if I want to make changes, is that going to cost me? How much is that going to cost me? Is it a per hour thing? Is it going to be fixed pricing? If you can change, what sort of things can I change? Text, images, can I add pages? All of those sort of things, it's good to know before you get it done. I'll just give you, this is our website. It's built in WordPress, which a lot of the websites nowadays are. Because of the functionality, the back end is reasonably easy to use, to edit. And also you can pick your website up and take it. So if you get Jack of your web developer, you can take it and move it. There are a lot of systems out there that you're stuck and tied in with that if you decide you want to move, you can't, and you're locked in and you've got to start from scratch. In the red boxes there are bits of the website on our front page that if it was your website you could edit. So things like the text, the different menu items, you can add more, you can change the wording, you can change the wording here. What you can't do easily is change the whole background image. That's something that you probably want to ask the developer to do. Same again here, you can change all this text, you can change the text up here, but what you can't do is easily change those types of images. So that would be an additional cost. Changing the buttons would be an additional cost. So what you'll find is a lot of the text, a lot of the images, if they're galleries and things like that, are all changeable, but find that out at the start. You don't want to have a website built, a couple of weeks later, go, I want to change that text. Oh yeah, that'll be 130 bucks, which there are a lot of companies out there that do that. So just try and avoid, or find that out at the start. If you don't want to do the updates yourself, that's fine, but just be aware of those sort of things when you start getting into your websites. That's, for those of you who haven't seen, that's the back end of WordPress. It really just looks like Microsoft Word, where you can edit pages, add text, things like that. Probably the most important part is how do you measure results? You spend money on AdWords, you spend money on SEO, you're driving traffic to your website. You want to know that that traffic's actually what's happening with it. Google want you to know all that information as well. They want the user to have a really good experience. So Google Analytics is free. If you haven't heard of it, if you don't have it on your site, get it on your website. I'll just quickly touch into the sort of stuff that you can find. This is one of our clients. This is from the last 30 days. Paid search, they had 2,000 hits. Organic search, 1,200. Referrals, 700. Direct, about 600. And 59 from social media. So it's a quick snapshot. This is what they're getting their traffic from. We can see things like how many users, how long they stayed on the website, what the bounce rate. So if they come, didn't do anything and bug it off, high bounce rate. Conversion rates. This is the e-commerce, so they're selling product. So we know they sold 37 of whatever they were to a value of $9,000 for the month. You can really work out then what the value of return on investment. You can go even deeper. We know male and female. This is the age groups. I don't know whether you know how much Google are tracking you, but they are tracking you. We can see movie lovers, TV. We see movie lovers bought 46 of this item to a value of about $9,000. TV and all the way through. We can track it all the way back to states. Well, Google can. So you've probably seen it before. You'll be searching for a holiday. For the next 30 days, you're getting ads for holidays. Google, that's called remarketing. Google are following you around. It's not just by coincidence. They're actually pretty much tracking everything. So just be wary of that, I guess. But it's also a real powerful tool for your website. It's something you can use that tool then to decide where to put your marketing budget. We know that movie lovers are buying this product, so we can then target ads and things around people that are into movies and stuff like that. And therefore, you know, design ads that are punchy and gets the traffic going and turns into results. So super important. So just to recap, always think about the user. No matter what you're doing with your website, think about the user and how that user is going to experience the site. It's not just about how it looks, it's about how the user is going to function. Ask your web developer, have you got experience in similar projects? Pretty straightforward. Ask about the team. Have you guys worked together? How long have you worked together? What expertise have you got? Make sure that you're covered. Can you edit your website? Find that out at the start and measure your results, because that's what it's all about. That's why we get into business, is to generate sales, make money, and everything else. That's it from me. Thanks very much for listening. Hope you got some tips out of that.